listener-powered 90.3 KEXP, online all over the world at KEXP.org. You're listening to Audio Oasis. My name is Sharlese, and it's now time for music by Sweeping Exits on KEXP.
Saw them one night when we went to sleep, but he believed them when they said it was a dream. He hasn't learned yet not to trust what they all say. Hasn't seen the stories on the nightly news, creatures eating boys like me and you. They always tell me it's in my head, when every morning I'm scratched up red, red, so those creatures call me up every single night, and I only dream black and white. 12:01, sky turns black. I can feel the creatures coming cut me up every single night, and I only dream in black and alright, I only dream in black and okay now, I only dream in black and alright, I only dream in black and alright, I only dream in black and why?
90.3 KEXP. You're listening to live music by Sweeping Exits here on the show. You just heard I Only Dream in Black and White and Teachers from the new album Glitter and Blood, which is your debut album.
Yes, the debut full length out tomorrow.
Yeah, and so I was pretty excited to find out that this was your debut album and that I wasn't sleeping on Sweeping Exits. Because I really like the Projectionist EP, and there was just this, well, when I found out about Sweeping Exits, I was reading an article in the Portland Mercury, and there was like 3 artists, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out these 3, and then I listened to the music, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole other world that I am so excited to play on air and dive into. And then, so finding out that the EP was just the beginning was just great for me.
That's so wonderful to hear, yeah.
And listening to the EP, and listening to the full length, because you gave me a secret listen of the full length, which is why you're here, because it's amazing and really fun. But I thought about, when I was listening to it, I was like, do they work together somehow? Or is it like a piece to a bigger story? Because the way that it's, I don't know, the way that it's laid out, and when you're listening to it, it's like, okay, this is a chapter, and then this is another chapter. But, and I do want you to answer this question. I guess I have a lot to say.
Sure, yeah.
But reading about Glitter and Blood and the concept behind the person, Desmond, I think is his name.
Yeah, Desmond.
And he is going through a lot, and he realizes his powers in it. And I don't know, I wanted you to elaborate on both EPs and
Yeah, so Glitter and Blood, the first LP, is actually, it's the first in a set of 4. It's a story arc of 4 albums, and so The Projectionist is a prequel, and it's set in the 1950s, and it's about a vampire girl who works in a movie theater and devours misogynist men.
Well as she should.
Yeah, she should. And it also introduces a character from Glitter and Blood named Calliope, who is a child and is taken in by the Projectionist. And then Glitter and Blood is set in the 70s, and it's about a kid, Desmond, who's growing up with human parents, and he's the grandchild of a vampire named the Great Duke, who was a band leader in the 40s, who was like this big pop star, and would take all the humans into his mansion and devour them. It was sort of a mixture of Duke Ellington and Vlad the Impaler. And then Desmond is sort of raised in like a human environment with human family, but he's got all this vampire blood. And Lady Death, who's the queen of the vampires, comes and rescues him from his boring human life and raises him in the palace of the vampires, and then sends him out in the world as an adult to be a rock star to help lure humans into the palace for the feeding rituals. And then, I won't give away the ending, but Desmond does eventually become the queen and ascend to a genderless state. And then the 4 albums are a continuation of that. It basically goes Glitter and Blood in the 70s. The next album is set in the early 80s. It's in a dystopian city after Desmond leaves. The 3rd album zooms to the year 3000 in the future, and the humans have taken back over, and it's about a transgender alien who comes down to give humans the perfect pop music. And then album 4 is going to be a purely symphonic piece that's just going to be classical instruments. And that tells the story of Lady Death, so it actually zooms back to the 1700s and leads up to the point where Lady Death meets Desmond. So it's all a big circle.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And that you have all of that down.
Yeah.
Is the albums written yet?
I have some songs for album 2 and 3, but it's a process because each album has a totally different sound. They're set in specific eras with specific sounds. And so before each album, I have to it's almost like starting a new band. I have to retrain myself how to make a new style of music. And so I'm currently training myself how to do the sound for album 2 and album 3 separately.
Yeah.
Because they have pretty different sounds. So nothing concrete, but the story arcs are there, and I do like vignette writing and draw the characters, do character profiles. So I've done some of that. But as far as actual songs, there's only like one song off album 2 done.
So I read that when you're making an album, or when you made this album, that the lyrics came first and then the music.
Well, no, actually, I think what I was saying in that piece was the songs that I would write dictated the plot developments. Mm-hmm. So initially the album was just about a kid who becomes a rock star, and then it like became about vampires just because I kind of wrote this song that turned into being about vampires. Yeah. So it was really interesting because I didn't have the arc set out initially, and then I'd write a song, and I remember calling my brother and be like, I guess it's about vampires now, and he was like, really? Mm-hmm. And like everything that would happen, it was just it evolved very organically, which felt nice. It wasn't like contrived. You know? There were only a couple songs where I was like, okay, I need this plot point, so I've got to write a song to that. Otherwise, the plot came from the song. Yeah. So another thing is like, are you classically trained? No, I just when I was like 18, I didn't go to college or anything, and I didn't have a lot of friends, and I worked in a preschool, and I would just come home from preschool and and I would just read on the internet all the time. I was really fascinated. The first thing I was obsessed with was song form and structure, and then I got into chord harmony, and then a lot of different things. So I kind of trained myself, and now actually what I do for money is I teach music. Cool. Mostly to people like me who have played in punk bands but want to know more about theory. Mm-hmm. So and then the composition and the arrangements, it's helped a lot by the program MuseScore that I use, which is this free program that allows me to arrange sheet music, even though I can't actually sight read, but I can use the program. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. When
I started going to college for radio school, I didn't have any friends. Yeah. And I used to go into the library and I was listening to Moby at one point, and then I decided to start reading Slayer lyrics.
Nice.
And I read a lot. And I was like, this is my only friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So some more things about this album is, I don't know, I was thinking about all of the inspirations that you guys have, mm-hmm. That everyone has, and especially you. And so there's Roy Orbison, there's Rocky Horror Picture Show, there's horror films, there's vampires. Can you talk about how all of that affects and influences the music and the shows that you guys put on and everything?
Yeah, I think that the thing that connects all of the different influences, basically just anything that allows me to kind of escape into a fantasy world, escape from reality. I think the seed of this whole phase of my music and everything was actually a terrible office job I had, and I just really wanted to escape. So anything like horror films or Bowie was a huge part of it. Just these things that allow me to feel like magic is real and that I can run away into something else. And I think it manifests in all these different ways. I mean, I think that a big factor for me is Italian horror, like Dario Argento, Mario Bava. And that actually manifests a lot in the sound, too. I take a lot of influence from how the soundtracks, particularly the earlier Italian horror stuff, it's kind of this weird hybrid of classical and sort of jazz, a dark big band jazz kind of feel. And so that influenced my composition a lot. And then the aesthetics obviously are informed a lot by horror films. The photography we work with is named Danny Ransom, and me and her both, our favorite movie is Suspiria. And so all the photo shoots, it's colored lights, and we're thinking about how can we, kind of pay tribute to that. And so, yeah, it all kind of coalesces, but the core that holds it all together is just, I want to create a world for people so that they can escape from the banality of human existence, And
yeah.
So honestly, I mean, even things like Harry Potter, mm-hmm. I just thought about anything like that. Or for me, it's not so much with other people like Star Wars or Star Trek. It's it allows them to come home from their job and feel oh, magic is real. I don't have to spend my whole existence in this, kind of two-dimensional world.
I also read just a cool part about you talking about how vampires relate to queer and femme empowerment, and I wanted you to talk about that.
Totally. So, I mean, I think that on the whole, I mean, just queer and horror go so well together because traditional horror, you know, I think before it became less about just slasher films, you know, traditional horror was all about, I think, you know, society's fear of the other. There would be some other that's intruding, and the society would band together to like destroy the monster or the vampire or whatever it was, you know. It was these stories that, you know, people have always told, you know, the people in their clan or whatever, to make them, you know, feel like they can have power to, you know, if they get attacked by a bear or something. You know, I think that's kind of the origins of it in sort of my approximation. But for queer people, it's like we are the other. You know, we're this other that's crammed into the corners of society, and we're everywhere, but we're not safe anywhere, really. And so for me, I just invert that traditional horror dynamic, and it's about rescuing the other from, you know, kind of a boring, judgmental, you know, toxic society. So it's like, the monster represents us, and we're using the power that we have to overcome society, essentially.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We should hear some more music from you all. Sweeping Exits here on Audio Oasis on KEXP.
Once you realize you're dead, realize that you are dead. You have very little time to try and change your mind once you are dead. And if she cuts off your head in the dim light, the dark sermon is read. Very little time to try and change your mind once you are dead. And you're burning alive with those red, red eyes. You're burning alive with those red, red eyes. And if she burns you at the stake instead, the flames rising high and dark red. You have very little time to try and change your mind when you're burning. You're burning alive with those red, red eyes.
I'm the queen now, things are going to change. You need to see me, you need only call my name. I'm hungry, hungry and lost. It's been said that I'm deranged, but I am the queen now. Everything has changed. spirit lost, I'll not hesitate to read. If you can learn to obey, well then come along with me, sweet Delilah. Didn't ask to be queen, you see. Now call out to Lady Death. Said, well, why would you leave this to me? I'll need you. The people, they need a leader. In the dark of the night, well, I could be strong for you and lead us to fight. Lady Death, why would you leave us? Why'd you have to go? Lady Death, why would you leave us? Why'd you have to go? You know we need you, Lady Death. Why would you go? We need you like the blood not seen in our bones and our very souls. I know that there are those among us who will try to deceive me. Those villains will be found out, we will drink their blood in celebration. There's only one thing, as I've been blessed with immeasurable power. There's only one thing now that's left for you to do. Oh! And that is, well, just listen to me. 'Cause I am the queen now, and I too have begun to change. As she fills me up, you can see her beauty in my frame. I'm taking a form, neither man nor woman, something more. My power grows exponentially. Can you see it? Can you feel it? But I am the queen. I am the queen. Ooh, I am the queen. I am the queen. I may never be like her, the benevolent ruler, not quite. What she would want is for us to rise and live in an endless night. The humans have been foolish, they have sealed their own fate. It's time now for us to rise and live. We can take their place.
90.3 KEXP. You're listening to Audio Oasis live music by Sweeping Exits. You heard I Am the Queen and Charming. Once you realize you are dead, I'm like, I can't even read because I'm just like, play some more. I just want you guys to play some more. It's like so much fun. It's like way more fun than I dreamed about. Oh. And like listening to the album is so fun, but this is way more fun.
Yeah. I feel that way too. I mean, part of why I was so unbelievably happy to come up here is because I thought, we'd have the opportunity to hear the strings and the full band. I mean, normally we do shows with the band and then we do shows with the quartet that are more like kind of acoustic, But hearing it all together, it just feels so warm. I mean, there's so many queers in this room.
It's wonderful. Everything about this entire thing is wonderful. Yeah. And I actually, we're friends on Facebook, and you like put up a Facebook Live, and so I kind of saw a little bit of what this was going to be like because you were performing with the quartet, I think, with you all, and I was like, okay, that's when I started to become inspired, and I was like, I've got to figure out how I can get this on here. And it's so wonderful that you drove up here, all of you, from Portland to do this for 2 hours.
It's our pleasure, It's so wonderful, and we're so glad to be on here. And I was really happy that, it was your show too. I watched some sessions with you, and I just felt like you were someone that I thought we would gel really well for the interview and everything. Yeah, we're friends. You're a Cancer, right?
I am a Cancer.
See, I'm a Virgo, so Virgo and Cancer is like, it's good. Water and earth, there's a lot of water and earth in this band. So.
That's
so
great.
I'm so happy, and I just can't thank you enough. I mean, it's been such an amazing experience, and so thank you.
Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough for putting out this awesome music and bringing everybody together so that it just sounds so wonderful.
Yeah.
I can keep saying all of the the nice words. But yeah, so what's next for Sweeping Exits? The album's coming out, and then...
Yeah, the album's coming out. We have a tour, sort of a smallish West Coast tour. We start on the 20th. Tomorrow we're playing a release show with Babe Waves from Bellingham, who's amazing.
Cool.
And then we're going to try to tour on this album a lot and kind of do this incarnation for a while. While we're doing that, I'm going to be in my lair, composing the second record, which is going to be more of a post-punk goth kind of thing. And then we'll sort of shift and become a post-punk band when the time is right.
And so you sent me a video. I think it was private when you sent it to me.
Oh.
Is that coming out?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We have a music video for our song, The Palace, that's coming out. And that's by Monty Wolf. And then we have another music video by Danny Ransom, who does all our album art. That's for Only Dream in Black and White. That'll be out in July. Another video for Charming. By a friend who I'm blanking on their name because it's that kind of day.
No, I understand.
But yeah, there's going to be 4 videos, so I'm really happy to roll those out as well.
I also wanted to say that the track title, Barbecue and Bigotry.
Bigotry and Barbecue, yeah.
Sorry, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I love that. That's just fun to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, well, so you said the album is only available on CD and cassette.
CD and cassette.
Yeah.
It's also on Spotify, Bandcamp.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
all right, we'll get those links up on the online playlist.
Yeah.
So everybody can find it. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sweeping Exits live on Audio Oasis on KEXP. Did you guys pick the light colors?
Yeah, purple. They go with Nia's hair.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, she's our purple girl.
Yeah, I like it.
Discover new music at KEXP.org.